Welcome to the Midday Treat with NAZ Elite, hosted by me, Coach Ben Rosario, featuring the HOKA NAZ Elite athletes, and from time to time, a special guest from the world of running. We talk training and racing, but we also just talk, and we go way deeper than just running. The Midday Treat is your chance to get to know us as people, so follow along and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And now, check out this episode of the Midday Treat with NAZ Elite. All right, everybody, welcome to the NAZ Elite podcast. We have a very special guest today. It is the newest member of HOKA NAZ Elite, just announced today. All the way from Kenya, he's joining us this morning. It's Friday morning where he is when we're recording this right now anyway. Alex Masai. Alex, welcome to the team. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Pro Running. How are you doing?
Thank you so much. First, I want to say thank you for at least setting this podcast up. I'm very excited, of course, being a young child, this is what I dream about. And it's kind of dream come true just, when you say pro running, that's the word that I always wanted to be associated with. Of course, it's a nice morning here. Just finished my easy running in the morning. And yeah, I'm excited for the future.
Awesome. Well, when you say that you dreamt of being a pro runner, you're not lying, because not only did you grow up in one of the world's top distance running countries, Kenya, probably the world's top distance running country, but you also have a slew of family members that actually became pro runners and super successful pro runners. So first, tell us, how many brothers and sisters do you have, and where do you fall?
Oh yeah, I come from a large family. I have 9 siblings. I have 4 sisters and 5 brothers, and I have a twin brother, but I am the second of the second twin, so I fall 8 out of 10. So I'm almost as the last.
And tell everybody about some of the accolades of some of your brothers and sisters from a running perspective.
Oh yeah, of course. My firstborn brother really had a successful career, especially on the track and cross country. So time-wise, he managed to get a 26:49 for 10K on the track and 12:50 for 5K, and also was 2-time Olympian, 208 in
Beijing.
what was it again? 208 Beijing. Yeah, Beijing, and then 2012 in London. He finished 4th in Beijing, and I think he finished 8th in London. He also finished 3rd in World Championships in Berlin 2009, and I think he made an appearance in 3 cross countries, 1 as a junior and 2 as a senior. And probably my sister is the most successful of, at least compared to my brother accolade wise. He finished 3rd in Beijing 2008 Olympics, and then was world champion in 2009 in Berlin. And they finished 3 times silver medalist cross country from 2009, 2010, and 2011. And he was also world junior champion cross country in 2008 in Mombasa. So it was really nice watching her for the first time winning it, in our only home soil. So my sister Maggie is probably the youngest one of all 4 of my professional running family. She's kind of strong on the roads. She has a 223 on the roads and 14:57 for 5K, and she never ran 10K on the track. So it's kind of mixed family, but yeah, that's 3 of them. And then my brother Dennis, I told you about. He really didn't take it serious that much, but he had a PB of 27:17 for 10K, and 5K, I think 13:23 for the track.
So if you guys missed that, his brother Moses was 4th at the Olympic Games. His sister Linet was a gold medalist at the World Championships. His sister Maggie is a 2:23 marathoner, and his brother Dennis ran 27:17 and 13:23. So that makes you right now at what is your PR? 13:29?
13:24.
13:24. I'm sorry. So you are the 3rd fastest Masai brother.
Yes.
All right, so you got some work to do.
Oh yeah, of course. Also, of my goal is to be in the sub 13 club, so at least to be there. So I can't promise to get my brother's 1250, but once I'm there, the goals always get tighter. Once you improve, you get close to close. So I won't make it a one-time goal, but a stepwise goal to lower my PB down until at least somewhere 1250s.
So one of the things I remember you telling me was that you guys grew up a little farther away from town in a smaller village and then eventually moved. So what was your life like as a very young kid, and then when did you guys move?
So as a young kid, we lived on slopes of Mount Elgon, which is literally just like the most ruralized part of the country. So my life really never had any interaction with the city as maybe before I turned 10. So because our family is growing, my dad needed more land for settlement and more for agricultural, because that's what was his main business was, agricultural wise, and he needed more farms so that he can be able to provide for my siblings school fees to go to pay for food and everything. So we moved to Transoya, which is part of the Rift Valley, more land available, and he could be able now to afford for taking us to boarding school and taking my siblings to high school, kind of stuff. So literally, the main reason why we moved was because we needed more land to accommodate our big family.
So when you were basically, you know, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, 12 years old, you were seeing your brother and sister have all this success. What was that like as a little kid to watch your brother and sister on TV at the Olympic Games, at the World Championships? How fun was that?
Yeah, I remember I was in boarding school by then. Our parents, because we were twins, we used to disturb our mom. So we were taken to boarding school at early age. So being at that time, I remember 2008 Olympics. Our teachers used to come and pick us from class to go and watch our siblings race. So it was kind of cool. Expectations. You go and sit there, and then a random teacher just shows up and says, "Yeah, I hope I see you next Olympics," or something like that. So at the back of the mind, the expectations were, I need to go to class at the same time, but people expect me at least to follow the same path in future to do that. So it's kind of some expectation. I knew I have to go to class, study hard, but at the same time, I have to try my legs and see how far I can get as well, as time went by.
But my understanding is your brothers told you that you would be better at running if you actually didn't run too much as a kid. They wanted you to wait until you were in your 20s to really be at your best. So, what did you actually focus on in high school in terms of athletics?
So I remember, you see, during when the school was closed, I would ask my sister or brother for shoes to start training, but my brother would just say no, kind of do other sports. So I used to do volleyball and handball and running as part time, because when the season comes, my brother would say don't run, but at school I come from a running family, they expect me to be running during the season. So it's kind of just did part time running, but I played full time handball. And I remember even after college, I wanted to start training, and not after college, after high school, I wanted to start training seriously. And my brother said, Kenyan running, definitely you want to start when you are early 20s. But now, probably finishing high school 18, I had more like 3, 4 years, which he assumed that, once I finish college 4 years, I'll be probably 22, mature enough to be able to compete with the top athletes. So that's kind of changed my idea of saying, you know, go study first. Running will come later, because say he ran his PBs when he was that time, and he gave me some, few examples of people who really wasted their time instead of going to college, and then they ran their best when they're like mid 20s to high 20s. So it's kind of that mixed reactions that at least I don't know if you got it right, but I'm excited to see.
So, why though did you choose to come to the United States for college?
Oh yeah, so I don't know if I have a solid reason for that, but I just remember when I was in college in Kenya, more university here in Kenya, I used to train part time as well. Probably 4 to 3 times a week, 3 times to 4 times a week, and I was doing a track session. And of course, I think college coaches or some assistant coaches were doing recruitment, and I was doing workout. there's some guy from Netherlands, family friend called Hugo, and he was doing, he kind of helps the American coaches to get to, they find the, best talent to come to the US for college. And I was doing my workout, and he approached me later and said, what are you doing? I explained to him I'm in college, and I just ran, part time. And he was like, oh yeah, you can run the same thing, but get your school fees being paid somewhere just for free, just learn for free, running the same thing. And I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, we can talk. And I think he met my brother Moses, and the next time I was in time trial, just like that, I was, get idea that I can learn somewhere for free without, paying out of pocket or something like that. So, and that's how I found about, NCAA running or something like that.
But you came over here and you went to community college first. So talk about like
Yeah.
what school you went to and how you did there.
Oh yeah. So I think at that time, really, I didn't know much about, even when someone told me Monroe College, I didn't know there's certain divisions of college. So like just knowing that this higher education, of course, getting college education, I didn't know so much. There's community college, there was Division 1, Division 2, Division 3. I just imagine it was like kind of same colleges. So, but yeah, the coach I knew from Hofstra, he was kind of helping me to get, early admission at the same time. I don't think they had enough, scholarships for, I had to wait for someone to graduate in order to get a space in his school. So he said I can go to a community college, stay there for 1 year or one semester so that someone graduate so that I can get that position in his team. So I stayed in Monroe. I went there for one semester. Yeah, it was nice being there. The school was really mid and sprint focused. So I was really, it was not really ideal for distance guys. I used to do train with, 800 guys, 1500 guys. But yeah, we did well. We made to nationals for cross country. I finished eighth. And I think that was, confidence boost for me. I realized I could compete at the highest level as well, though not really training with the ideal teammates or ideal, kind of training that you like. So it was really going well, but it was a short period of time. So I didn't get the full experience of all, fall, spring, winter, or that kind of stuff. So I just finished one semester and I transferred to Hofstra.
All right, we got frozen there for a second, but we're back. So Alex was telling us he came to the United States and he went to one season of community college where he got eighth at the community college championships. And then he joined the team at Hofstra. That's who had been recruiting him from Kenya. So Hofstra is a kind of a small Division I school on Long Island, not necessarily a huge team. So you got there in the spring semester of your freshman year. What was it like to just come to the United States? Because you had never been here, right?
Yeah.
What was it like just being in the United States? How different was it than Kenya?
Oh yeah, of course. It was different. Of course, came here at the end of summer, so like it's where I think it was longer days and shorter nights. So like sleeping every day when the sun is out and waking up when the sun was still out was really, I didn't understand what was happening. I never saw darkness because, being an athlete, you always go to bed early and, waking up, of course, early in the night, but I don't know, the sunrise is like 5 a.m. probably, and then wake up 6 a.m. So it's really kind of confusing, being understanding the other parts of the world. And of course, late falls, winter starting, was of course being able to understand and be able to get ready for winter was one difficult thing because I'm not used to cold, extreme cold. I just use cold that you can control, but being able to go for a run without complaining and going to class without complaining was really tough. I remember one time when I used to call my family, I get jealous when people are just wearing short sleeve shirts and I'm here freezing myself, saying that I have to go for a run even if it's snowing. It's kind of it's kind of challenging, but at the same time I realize other people are doing, I can also do as well, what they are doing. But I guess that was the most different thing. And of course, culture-wise, things are different. People are different. Coming here without a family member, without a friend, everybody was new and everything was new. Of course, both Monroe and Hofstra are close to the city. So like I'm used to the rural life. And then now coming to living, close to the city or the city life was really tough. Being able to understand both dimensions of life and getting used to different cultures was really challenging. But I think after 1.5 years, when I came back for the following season, I can really, mindset wise, I changed my mind and I was ready really to go through it. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to finish this college life, whatever happens.
And what were you studying?
I was studying criminology undergraduate.
Got it.
Yeah.
And how challenging did you find school?
Uh, I don't think I didn't have any big problem in school wise. Of course, compared to I was already college in Kenya. I can say resource wise and support was not really that much compared to the American colleges. So I had really everything like having tutors and have textbooks to technology wise for classes. So really, I didn't find that difficult wise apart just from small things which every student goes through, but I didn't have any extreme challenges as a student myself. I kind of just understood how to go around and be able to get great grades in college. At least I can complain on that side.
And as far as running goes, obviously New York, where you were at Hofstra, was a big difference terrain wise than Kenya. Don't have all those beautiful dirt roads. And how did you guys make it work at Hofstra training wise?
Oh yeah, just to go back to Monroe, I had the same problem. They didn't really have good training pads like soft surfaces. So coming from Kenya, it's soft roads as you said. I had to not like injuries necessarily, but just 5 times a week. By Friday, I feel my body is sore. I feel tightness in all my body. You kind of feel like you're injured, but not really injured because just I'm used to that. So I kind of say I realized, I used to do, just find a small place, probably less than a kilometer loop. I can do as many times, which is better for my health. Because I remember one time I got injured, not like injured, but I had some knee, whatever problems. And I remember the trainer said it's probably I need to find soft surfaces. Once I found that, I got away with that injury. And then I came to Hofstra, the same thing happened. I had a glute problem, which being underweight, not like really underweight, but being lightweight. The trainer also said I had to restrain from running on hard surfaces and find more soft surfaces. It was hard really, but I think doing like 4 times a week on the hard surface, like 3 times a week on soft surface really helped than just doing hard surface every day. Was really not that beneficial. But yeah, I think it was challenging for my body wise, just feeling hard always, not like injured but hard. And yeah, by the end of the first year, currently, I guess some things are mental. I used to it and I was ready for it. I guess wise, did some exercise a little bit, not really much, but just to get ready for the terrain as well.
Now, if you look at your times from your freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, senior year, you started really getting quite good toward the end. It took a couple of years. Talk about the challenge of kind of getting used to training at a high level, because like you said, in high school in Kenya, you really didn't run that much. So when did it start clicking? When did you start realizing, okay, now I'm getting pretty good?
So it's just something in back of my mind. Of course, I knew, I can get better a little bit, but it was just now a matter of time to get into practice and get it into paper, show that I can be able to perform at the high level as well. So I really started training seriously when I came to US. I guess that was the time I was now training day to day, probably resting once a week, But I think when I ran back nail, I ran 14:06 my first 5K. I think that was the time really I thought, I ran faster than my sister 5K. So I was like, yeah, so at least I can beat now ladies, world class ladies, and say now it's time for to beat men. So at that time, really, I realized I could improve a little bit. And then the next race was pen relays 5K. I ran 14:00. I found close like, yo, I can be, sub 14 club too as well. So I was that close. So I guess that motivation, knowing that every time I race, at least I was making PBs, really gave me some motivation. Just knowing that, you're getting excited because every time I was running, I was getting improvements bit by bit. And I think I ended that season not really the greatest in Florida for that 10K regionals, but I think this, as you said, I was not in a big school of because I was the first runner to make it to regionals for that event. So really, I didn't do good, but at the same time, just knowing I'm the first one to do this, I was like, yeah, I can do it again and maybe make to the nationals. And yeah, I came back to the winter season, really ran sub 8 for 3K. I ran 7:59. Also, I was like, yeah, I can be in sub 8 group. So, so those small improvements made me really going to indoor season for 5K. I ran, I think 13:53. And I was like, I made the goal I wanted last season. So this is what I wanted. And from then, I remember coming back the following season to home. And I remember my brother was telling me, I think now you look like a runner now. So like that was then clicked to me that people now believe in me. I can do that. So I went back. I ran. I think that cross country season. I won a couple of races. I didn't make to nationals. I made to nationals, but I didn't do great. That's only when I finished I think 130 or something like that. But like of course, my first time making to nationals NCAA was that one. And then winter season, sad enough, it was cancelled because of COVID. But I ran a PB by almost 30 seconds of 13:28. So from then I was like, yeah, so I think I'm gonna do it now. I was like, I might not be forced, people can now believe in me and my family can now think, I can join them to the pro session. So I think that was the most of the changing performance was that on the indoor 5K that I ran 13:28. And I think from there, I realized, there were, training wise, once you become disciplined, you work harder, you always get the performance that you want. And I went the outdoor season, uh, which sadly enough was cancelled as well. The indoor was cancelled. I was not able to come home to see my family. That's when I got the time to come to Flagstaff, and I trained. I had a 10K again on that fall season, just sponsored by myself in California. I ran for 28:11, of which was PB again by almost 1 minute. So at that moment again, I realized, I'm still making improvements. Though I don't know where is my ceiling, so I'm still going and going. Like enough, we had the outdoor season, the cross country season, on where I ran the cross country at Oklahoma, where I finished at least All American, my first All
Well,
American.
hold on now. Let's talk about that cross country race, because if people watched that race, they may remember that you were the kid that nobody knew in the blue jersey and in the yellow Hofstra, and you were right on Wesley Kiptoo. So I know you and I have talked about this, but what was the thinking going into that race, you and your coach? Because like you said, you kind of took us through. I mean, you had run 13:28, you had run 28:11, but you still weren't really that well known. And your highest finish at NCAAs, you'd only made it once and you finished 130th. So what gave you the confidence to go out with Kiptoo?
So I remember to go back during that fall season, we didn't have many opportunities to race. And I remember me and my coach had talked about, because he was not even allowed to do so many things because NCAA has so many rules. I had to travel alone for that, California 10K. And then coming to that, indoor session again, every school had their own rules. We are not allowed to compete indoor. So I realized I probably don't have many opportunities to race and show my, the one that I can race as well. So I remember talking to coach and you're like, yeah, we're going all out for it. We're going for it's all or nothing, something like that, So like we plan kind of way that because there are not so many opportunities, get ready for this, train well. And I remember I had a solid training, kind of 2-3 months with the, no injuries, and my body was responding well. And I had a belief in myself. I knew, I could finish to the top guys. I haven't raced that much races, but at the same time, nobody had raced that much because, the opportunities were fewer. And going to that race, I remember the evening we traveled, we got the 2 nights before the race. We were, seated together and you're saying, don't be scared of these guys. They train as you, they go to the school as you, so like, they're your age mates, they are whatever, everything. And yeah, I didn't expect him to go that fast, but I expected him to go that, to be front runner. And there's nothing was going to change my racing mentality or to change my ability to race than just go out and see how much I can hang on and see how much I can finish higher, or like how much can I compete with these guys compared to the other, top cross country programs or top cross country runners. So we really went that one out without, plan of sitting behind and kicking or nothing like that. We went with the mindset that we are going for all in.
What about when you fell off? That wasn't until about what, 7K or so, or even 8K?
Yeah, I think after 6K was
6K?
when I started falling back.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you hung on, finished what, 30 something?
Yeah, I think I finished 33rd.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you come out of that race? Because we'll talk about the outdoor season here in a second. Did you come out of that race excited because you were able to compete up front for so long, or disappointed because you fell back?
So I came out of that race without my first reaction was not even really position wise. It was just about how much I gave. I gave everything to my capacity, and I knew there was nothing left in me. I remember reaching 9K was a hill up, and I was just thinking myself, what could I do better to be there? And there was nothing left in my body. So I came out of that race knowing that, if this is the mindset I'm going with it back to training and come to race the same way, there's no way I'll be the same place probably a year or a few months from then. So it's kind of changed my mentality of, knowing that, this is not my limit. At the same time, if I go this mindset in training, there's a way I can improve, more than, where I am now. I wanted to show that next time I show up, I might not be able to fall back, but I will surprise people by staying again in front instead of falling back.
Yeah. So the outdoor season was great. I mean, you obviously got to the regional meet. You won the regional 10K in Jacksonville in really hot and humid conditions and made it look pretty easy, I thought. And then you go to the national meet in Eugene, and this is your big final opportunity. And you've got this very fast 10,000, very fast 5,000 meter field. Tell us about the NCAA outdoor meet in Eugene.
Oh yeah, so 10K is actually me and my coach we talked about. Of course, the results out of season seemed 10K to be my strong, my strong event. Just how we have prepared, and because also it's my first race of all of both regional and nationals. 10K comes first, so me and my coach are really prepared for that. And going to 10K, I really wanted to win it. Of course, I knew I believed myself and I trained for it. But I think I didn't, as I told you before, probably a couple of times, I didn't really rest my race in that 10K, just because, of course, we all have different perspectives on how we race. But I think having 5K in my mind really, contributed to me not really racing to my race, just because every time I remember, if you can remember, after I think I was 4K, I hit in front.
Yep.
But in my mind, I'm like, you have 5K, so you gotta preserve your your energy, but at the same time, I've kind of, sometimes you do your training and you know your weakness. At that time, I knew my weakness. If it comes to the last 1K or 2K, it's going to be hard for me to drop at the runners or to kick a sub 60 for the last 400 or a sub 2 for the last 800. So it's kind of something psychological, but at the same time, it was really a nice, learning opportunity for me, racing the top athletes, because I remember that was my only first and last probably outdoor NCAA season. So, competing with all those guys I've been seeing in TV 2-3 seasons past. So I remember really after 7K, I was really hitting my mind that, I can really win. At the same time, I can really finish, in a position that you can't really dream about. But I took the lead, and, I made 2-3 laps, and some few guys fell out, which, of course, when you're a runner and you see, it's not kind of like being, when you go in front, you want to drop people. It really feels nice when some people drop. So I look behind, I see 6 guys sort of behind me. I'm like, okay, so I can finish top 10. At least I can now finish top 10. So I kept on moving for a bit, but I think my legs got me the last 800. I kind of feel my lactic, of course, of doing 63s, 64s. I think I realized if the bell goes now, these guys can do sub 60. There was nothing I could do about that. But yeah, the last 200, I think they passed me. Tried, move my upper body, but my lower legs were not moving. So it was really kind of confusing. I try to look back, and like enough, there's not so much people close to me apart from that group of 5 guys. The other number 7 was really a little bit behind, so I felt comfortable, and I was like, what? I'm contented with this, let's wait for 5K.
So 27:45 that day. Did the time surprise you?
I can't say I was surprised by time. It's more like of those days that you really wanted position wise more than time, just because I could just imagine if I ran 28:10 and finished fast, I could really mind that. But just knowing you ran 25, 27:45 and 5 guys in front of you is kind of mixed reaction wise. But of course, there's no better feeling also as running PBs every time you race which was really, at the end of the day, on paper, I made a almost 20-second PB or something like that. So it was really a nice, day overall for me.
Did it leave you pretty tired for that 5,000?
It's kind of, I guess some things are kind of psychological. Like, in my mind, I think 5K was probably rest well than 10K, just because, of course, those guys pretty finished strong. But like, I didn't really, race my race as well, because you don't know how much left in your legs. The race, probably the guys went 64s early on. So it's kind of thing, I can do 64s, but you don't know how much do I left in my body. So I kind of just contented being in a group behind those guys. But at the same time, of course, I knew I had 10K less than 48 hours ago. So it's kind of left me, of course, a little bit tired, but I can't really say that was the reason why I finished behind, just because I did not. It's kind of uncertain, things you have in your mind. You're just thinking, what if I go fast? What if I die? What if I do this? I blow out. So that's kept on until probably after 4K or probably after 3K, you're kind of making moves, but already the guys in front are doing 63s. There's no way you'll cover up that distance. So you're kind of just making sure, don't get passed by so many guys at the same time. I think I wish 10K was less by like 5K. I would have probably finished, high, just because, it was really honest 5K, and those guys really did great job of, leading in front and doing all the things to make, Olympic standards for some few guys, and others finishing, national records kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So you get done with your NCAAs, you've set two big PBs, you've run well in both races. I know that you and I, of course, talked right after nationals, and I knew that you wanted to go into the pro running world. So now just bring us up to speed on where you are. You've signed with HOKA NAZ. Just tell the folks about, your dreams of what you want to do these next few years as a pro runner.
Yeah, yes. I'll consider my story to be starting now, honestly. So like my story just started now, because as I said before, this probably was just a bridge of me, being that, amateur runner, or being that, that kid of people thinking maybe it might not be your discipline, it might not be your, thing. So I considered college to be just a developing period, but now this is where my story is beginning. And, you know, I couldn't have dreamt, a better place or a better time to be able to join a pro running, a big focus crew with many great athletes like NAZ Elite. Of course, you have guys who have won marathons, who have won road races. So of course, having that just kind of environment and having that, support that, I already received, though I'm, probably hardly 2 months into it. But really at this time, it's just kind of that feeling that, it's true. It's a dream come true now. It's just time, I realize, every time I wake up in the morning and I wear, the gear that everything says HOKA from, top to bottom to the shoes. And I realize, this is something that, I was 10 years back, 15, 5, 6 years ago. This is what I was thinking about, dreaming about, maybe not doing anything about it. But now, it's now the time to really, perform. And of course, it's just time now for me that I'm getting excited. And, of course, I'm doing everything, on the ground, and make sure that I produce the performance that I kind of promised to myself. And that, of course, the standards that you always have to, group, and always, I guess now is really that moment that I'm getting my mind together to realize that I'm a pro athlete, and it's time now to perform.
And how are the HOKA shoes?
Oh yeah, it's really exciting. Of course, the last time I remember you asked me, have you ever ran with these HOKA shoes? I had never before, but uh, I think it's almost now 5 weeks been running on HOKA shoes. It's no negative thing at all. I'm like I go to training as well as the guys. They wear all those type of shoes, but I'm able to keep with them on track, on fat legs, on long runs. So it has really responded well. It's given me the best cushion in my legs. I do workout today. Tomorrow I wake up really without any soreness or without any fatigue, extra fatigue apart from the training fatigue. So I really think that, uh, the training shoes wise, I've never tested the speed work wise so much, but the training regular shoes, really have the the best cushion for my legs. Of course, we don't have so much uh, muscle for me, so at least having kind of shoes like that really helps to prevent you from fatigue or like soreness.
Sure. So one of the things we like to do on the podcast is talk a little bit about things besides running. So tell us about yourself outside of running. What are your hobbies? What do you like to do? What do you like to read? What do you like to watch? All that good stuff.
Oh yeah, so my life really kind of, I can't say I have a lot of things that I do outside running. Uh, Mostly just stay on TV. I like watching, soccer. The Americans call soccer, but it's called football. So mostly now Premier League has started. Weekend starts on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Those 3 days, like Saturday you just finish long run, and then from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. is just soccer. So you just choose what time, which matches do you want to watch. So that's really my Saturday. And Sunday, same thing. I do short run a little bit, but the program is the same. Matches start from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. So that's kind of my weekend. Or sometimes I totally have my few family members, like my two sisters. So we go out a little bit and get to enjoy time out or outside training or outside their normal work. So we go down to Sego, which is a little bit hotter down the valley, where at least we can go beautiful sceneries or at least relax in good weather before coming back to the cold weather in Retain, sometimes. um Apart from that, I have few friends. I don't really have a lot of friends now. Many people are different stages in life since I left. So it's mostly I just go home. My mom stays probably like 2 hours away from here. So if I get extra time, I travel home and just go in the farms and stay with my parents for a little bit. Basically that's mostly what I do, because of course most times just sleep around when you're not doing anything, apart from when you're tired or something. And also I watch a little bit TV. I like watching documentaries so much. So basically that's what I do in my free time.
Okay, now this will make some people mad and this will make some people happy. What Premier League team do you support?
Oh yeah, I support Arsenal. Of course, it's kind of mixed reaction now. It was a great team yet before, but the last 5 6 seasons we haven't lived to our standards. But of course, I understand many people will like many people don't like Arsenal kind of stuff. Rivalry. But yeah, that's my team.
They're playing my team on Sunday, Chelsea.
Oh really?
It's the
I don't
opener.
think I'll watch that much.
Chelsea looks good this year. We'll see. We'll see.
Oh yeah, Chelsea. Of course, they finished last season greatly, and I think from the first match of the weekend they picked it from where they left. But Arsenal, we're a little bit below Chelsea for now. So let's see and see.
How's the Kenyan national soccer team?
Uh, it's not that good.
They're
I
all
bet it's not that
runners.
good. We ranked probably almost 200 in the world, so you can guess from that.
But it is a big sport there, right?
Yeah, it's really a big sport. Club wise, not really this western or Rift Valley part, but if you go to central part of the country or eastern part of the country and southern part of the country, it's really great. Football or soccer is really loved there, and they have so many clubs there. But this side really is just more like fan base rather than clubs being this side.
I think the US fans probably would find this interesting. So I think we think of Kenya's national sport being running. So we think of all these Kenyan stars being huge stars in Kenya. Is that true? Like David Rudisha or Eliud Kipchoge, are they huge superstars in Kenya?
Oh yeah, so it's not really about running. That's a huge sport really in Kenya, but it's just like about personality wise. So like you kind of get two icons or three. Like for example, Kipchoge, of course, it's like a country's unifying factor now. Like everybody knows Kipchoge, of course, or Rudisha during 2012 Olympics. That time everybody knew about Rudisha. But really, running is not that the greatest sport in Kenya. It's more like rugby, sevens or 15. It's probably the great sports here where people enjoy watching that. Like people pay thousands of money to go watch. While running is a free sport, so it's really not that for fan base wise, it's not the greatest. But personality wise, they have really the greatest personalities here in Kenya.
I got it. So they become celebrities, basically,
Yeah, basically.
if they're really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Okay. How about Bridget Kosgei? Is she big celebrity? The world record holder in the
Uh,
marathon?
I don't think so. Just like also apart from performing wise, you have to be really personality wise. People have to like you. Be an outgoing person. Be kind of on the local level. What do you do? With people. If you're not shy, like Kipchoge, of course, people know you. But if you just kind of family person, you don't get time on social media. To people follow you so much. So I don't think so many people know Bridget that much as they know. Other runners like probably Faith might be known even better than Bridget kind of
Oh yeah,
stuff, just
sure,
because
sure.
you know social media nowadays have so much impact than even performances sometimes.
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
Mm.
All right, Alex. Well, this was cool. We got to know you a little bit, but it's just the beginning. Like you say, this is the start. This is the start of something really big. We're so excited to have you on the team. We're excited to introduce you to all our fans. And we can't wait for you to get over here. I know it might be a while because we got to get all this stuff figured out. But when you come over here, we'll start showing everybody pictures and videos of you running, and they'll get excited about your first race over here. We don't know when that'll be yet, but hopefully this fall sometime.
Yeah, definitely. I'm very excited for that as well. Of course, I know everybody's working hard wherever they are, and that's definitely what I'll do as well. Of course, the plan is to get back as soon as possible, but of course, everything has a procedure. But as for now, I'll do everything in my capacity to be ready for the season.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you, Alex. Appreciate you doing this in the morning, and we will talk to you very soon.
Thank you so much as well.
See you, Alex.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Midday Treat with NAZ Elite. I'm Addison Rosario, Coach Ben's daughter. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please leave us a review. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at NAZ_Elite. Subscribe to our weekly newsletter on NAZElite.com and stay tuned for the next episode of the Midday Treat with NAZ Elite.